Hey guys, welcome back. Maurice here, and today we have Mafia Definitive Edition and full review. I'll give you right away most important information. This is really positive review. The game is awesome, but we'll go there in more detailed look. So before that, I'll switch on my pre-recorded free play so that I'm not getting distracted. And as you know, in my channel I always do it like this. Sorry, taking a little bit of the screen time, but you can pause the video and see the ratings and see pros and cons and ratings I'm giving for more detailed, of course. Yeah, you can resume the video and I'll go through point by point, so I'm freeing up the video so you can enjoy maximum quality, unlocked frame rate. Unfortunately, I don't have so powerful GPU, so the frame rate fluctuates between 55-ish up to 80 frames per second. It depends on the scene. We will see there. I'll drive a car a lot in the background, and there you will see when game needs to draw and basically there's fast moving scene, then frame rates are below 60, and that's just my poor graphics card. But without that, let's start with at the top. You will see there will be changing each and every parameter I'm giving a rating to. So about the graphics, you can see yourself, beautiful graphics, great detail, and of course rich environment. Why I'm mentioning there's a little joke kind of in a way better smoke, because those who played Mafia, the first original version, they know from the cutscenes there was a smoke from the cigars and everything from conversations, and at that time it was really hard for any engine to run a smoke. So what they did, there were little circles that kind of expanded, and this was quite ridiculous approach. So in this version, not anymore. I'm giving 8.5 rating because graphics still is kind of plain at some sense from overall perspective. Let me pause the video right here and you will see the detail itself. The buildings, the cars, the people, everything. It is quite huge improvement from original, so that's no doubt there. Can they do? Could it be better? Of course, and yeah. Anyways, I'll try to speed up the video so it's not that long because it's just a review after all. So we have next is music. You will hear in the radio, in the cars, really awesome music. But what I like most, and this is not just the music, it's basically all the sound. The voice acting, because there are real actors for all the dialogues. And remember, this is a story-driven game. It's basically a story you live through. And there's a lot of dialogues and cinematics and absolutely greatest voices. I've really enjoyed it, absolutely. And again, I'm mentioning thank you the developers and basically who made this definitive edition for Ralphie. Ralphie is a mechanic in the game, introduced character that has us. He stutters, basically. He has a voice defect, the speech defect. And they kept it also here, so it is a really nice touch for those who are familiar with the game, with the original Ralphie. Absolutely great. What I don't like so much, I'm mentioning here, I'm still giving 8.5 because of the absolutely greatest music and voice acting, but the few sound samples. It means sometimes when you are walking over a wood floor or something, you know, there's a samples that how that sounds, and if you do exact same thing for quite some time, you will hear the samples are not differentiating that much. That's the same for some car, these tires screeches and everything. It's there. That's the way how I can describe it. you would want more of such samples so you don't feel that repetition that much. That's the only way how I can explain, and that's about the sounds from the environment. So that was my only kind of complaint I could find. Overall, still really great going together with the game setting itself. Next we have cinematics, and this is, let me quickly check. Yeah, lowest rating you will see, and this is cinematics, and I'll explain also why I'm giving 8. Someone could say even less, but what I like, as I mentioned, this is story driven, so you will have cinematics quite a lot, basically in every beginning of the mission, every end of the mission, and during the missions. It's basically a lot of cinematics. They are made and created from in-game footage, so this is really absolutely great. You'll see how it transitions from your action to cinematics and back. Why I'm mentioning the scenes are great, the characters are great, faces are okay. Why? Because it's not as bad as Mass Effect Andromeda, but hear me out. If you have followed the creation of this game, they had this really expensive and complex face recognition from the actors, and then translated into the game and everything. And at the end, you know, we as a gamers, we kind of don't care how you got it done. We see their end result. End result could be better. Absolutely, those faces, well, how they speak and everything, you see that it's great, and all the other. It's not about only faces, right? The cinematics is more about car chases and everything, and explosions and shootings and whatnot. But those faces could be better. And where I complain more is eyes and eyelashes. You will see in the cinematics they have some weird fixed focus of eyeballs, let's say. The iris itself in weird position, kind of positioned upwards, where in some angles it feels absolutely great. From somewhere in the cinematics you'll see it's like awesome, and when it's close up it's like a little bit zombie. That's definitely not great. That's my complaint. And eyelashes, especially for the Tommy Angelo, the main character. How do you let it pass? I know there are people with different eyelashes and but it's, yeah, that could be better. Overall, 8. It's still 8. It's still great. It's nowhere near to Andromeda and other worst examples, and they're, yeah. Anyways, moving on, we have story. Story, as I mentioned, and I will repeat it more and more, this is a story driven. Basically, this is a whole story you live through, and here, why I put emphasis on it, because this is the core of the game, and this is, in my opinion, 9.5. It's as straightforward, it's really immersive, you will feel how the story drags you in, and the growing intensity, mission by mission, and the story and everything. Not going to spoil, all my videos are spoiler free, mostly, at least review for sure. And the conclusion of the story, like the end of it, it's, you feel the story, you live it through, you there is no, I can't complain. The original was great. Here basically they had everything set up already. They had this story, they just revived it. So even the old Mafia, the first Mafia, that also in the same scale would be 9.5, because it's the same story. So great, absolutely great. Moving on, there's a pacing. Pacing is again, he just put something to basically complain about, so that I don't feel like a fanboy, because I'm trying to be objective. It's linear growth, which actually takes up a little bit faster and then escalates a little bit more quicker at the end, and but the story, even when it's kind of at the beginning, it never feels like you are getting bored. bored. You know, there are games where are mission after mission or some scene, not scene, but I don't know, the episode or something where it feels grindy. It feels like they try to squeeze some more playtime in it, and it's getting boring usually. And here it's basically quite quick, and that's my complaint. After you finish, basically, because if you don't know the story, if you're a first time player, you don't know how, where, why, how far it is, right? So you play, and basically when you already see the credits, you're like, you feel like I want to spend so much more time in it. I, this can't be it. It's basically you like turning a book upside down. Like there should be some other story, some other mission, some other something. So that's something you feel after you basically once you realize it. Yeah, that's it. Basically, that's it. So that's my complaint. So I'm still giving 8.5 because it is great, and I'm just literally squeezed it. Only my complaint, and anyone who played the game, this is quite short game in sense of gaming. So yes, you would want something more. So that's I'd say it's actually a valid point that you want something more of the game because this is awesome. Content itself, of course, this is open world in between missions. You are free to explore and go. One pointer here, at least in original, there was if you really after first mission you wanted to go outside on a countryside, there was road closed or something, and it opened up only later. I haven't checked honestly in this game because I was more driven to the story itself. I wanted to live it through, so there might be such blocks, but I don't see any reason why now, because there are some changes in the maps and updates, and also the map shows all the countryside where I'm literally now driving outside, so you can see how it looks like. The exploration and it's available for you, and I did not use the time as the first time because I know this is a story driven, so I went through story by story, listening, watching, driving, everything, but not additional exploring, right? And again, the complaint is the same. The more time in the city it means in the game, and side quests and side stories. At this point, I need to basically apologize because only making this video I realized in the game there is a point where they say like there's a side quest, basically go to this one mechanic, he will have a job. I think there's one or two missions, something that's a side mission, and I absolutely forgot about it. I didn't do it, and now when I'm finished the game and making a review, I'm like, oh wait, there was this side mission, which I don't know, extra 10-15 minutes. But yeah, I honestly did not, yeah, I haven't done it. But so yeah, but even with all that, with all the story and everything, you want, honestly, there was a complaints when the game was, when we knew the definitive edition was coming out. Yeah, this is one of my favorite scenes where if you are not fighting cops, they're just giving you a ticket. If they're not arresting you, and that's it, basically, they let you go. But there was a complaint that the map is somehow pushed smaller. There's less of the map and everything. But now, when I open up the map and see every single mission that I needed to go through in which parts of the town and everything, I see there's a lot of the parts of city never explored. One mission led me there, and that's it basically. Afterwards, that's up to me to explore and go there. So what I'm trying to tell is, from that sense, you feel like there should be some more side missions, some more additional something, because there's so great playground you have guys created. Why we are not utilizing? That's my complaint. That's my feeling that definitely I want more of this experience. All right, going. This is one of the points where I mentioned I have all the criteria as always I do in every single game, doesn't matter what kind of game it is. And here it is kind of obsolete, okay? Story-driven games. Here in game depth, usually in other types of games, I'm mentioning the talent tree, the depth of your character, the customization, the tools, the traits, choices. What else we have? Crafting, building, everything, right? How deep you can, the game allows you to go. Where here, this is story driven. This is a story. This is like when you read a book, there are no choices. There are no craftings where you can craft, I don't know, silencer or bazooka and approach different. There's one way, one story, one tale to listen. And that's why I'm giving, and still I mentioned one thing, that's a built-in character development, because that's not a spoiler, but in the game it's about Mafia, if you have figured that out. Maybe there are some special people out there, and you don't start in a Mafia. You are kind of introduced, then you get invited, then you are part of family, and then basically you go through the story itself, how you from nothing are basically climbing up, and that's a development in some sense. But I'm putting that 9, that because it's quite high rating, in a bracket, which means it's not calculated in. It's literally an Excel formula, Google Drive formula. So it's in a bracket, it's not counted in because it's a text, it's not a number. So it is excluded because it's obsolete in story-driven games, right? Yeah, at this moment in the video, I found finally how to turn on the siren. So yeah, there will be siren in the background. Anyway, you see this is a fast driving because I try to squeeze out of every car I've driven, because I'm enjoying and showing you the graphics of nature. At the time when original Mafia came out, foliage, trees, grass, that was kinda impossible at that time to render without burning down your whole computer, house and everything, right? So here I kinda finally experienced this vegetation and everything, and the countryside. So I'm showing that to you. And of course, here I noticed there's a jump. There's just one thing, how this can proceed. But that's going in the background. We are proceeding with controls. So for controls, I again want to prepare to, I'm not going to be mean and call names and give you links and everything, but if you nicely ask, yeah. Anyways, there was a game review channel, again, something, where they had kind of complained that the aiming doesn't feel right and clunky, and the controls, and I've played it. I've played most of the games for the past 15 years. There is absolutely no problems with controls, with driving, shooting, running. Everything the game provides is absolutely by intuition. You feel what controls the cover system, everything works as it should without any additional tweaks or nothing. Of course, I need to mention at this moment my really ridiculous driving out there. At some point you see I'm hitting every single wall, and car gets spinning around. This is without any assistance, without any, never playing with auto aim or nothing. Here also the driving is put on the hardest. It's the simulation, or not simulation, but the realistic something. So it's without any assistance, anything, and it still was pretty easy, I'd say. I'm not gonna lie, there's a mission, infamous mission, where you need to drive a race car on a track. I did not complete it on the first try, which I was like kinda, yeah, I can do it. It took me several tries. I can make a video about it if you want to. how, because it's the same logic, exactly the same thing, how it can and should be done in the Mafia first. So there's a few tricks how to pull it off. But it's not that hard. It's not like, I don't know, Dark Souls hard where game just punches you for playing it, right? So I'm really putting emphasis on this point because I know there's a reviewers and channels way bigger than me that says like, no, the controls was not right. I'm like, no, you are not right. Okay, all right. As you can see, 8.5 rating, absolutely everything great. Next, last 2 points, we have gameplay. The gameplay itself, where I'm taking from the difficulty of playing without auto aim and the driving. This is going further than kill or be killed, which absolutely lacks in these days games. And here I again can mention I really not a big fan of Dark Souls because it's stupid. It's just plainly stupid because of imbalance, where you can be killed by one hit, and some bosses and everything you need either super maniacal weapon, enchant, whatever, I don't care. But basically there's bullet sponges, and it's never balanced. And opposite is also stupid. If you are invincible and you can shoot everyone with one. So here in Mafia it's good old style. I played the game. I don't think I need to mention, but I'm going to, on the hardest difficulty, which is original Mafia, which is the only way how it should be played. So, kill or be killed means one thing. You shoot enemy in the head, enemy dies. Enemy needs police, gangster, whatever. They shoot you in the head, you die. So, it works both ways. And that is absolutely one of the core essences in the game, where there are no bullet sponges and you are not overpowered. You have health, and if they shoot you in the shoulder or somewhere else, you take 2 or 3 shots. Still, you are dead. And it feels, from one sense, I'm mentioning this, empowering, because you can absolutely, if you nail headshots, you are invincible, kinda. But in the same time, you know that you can be car can drive over you, or police or shoot you, and you also will be dead. So it's powering and threatening at the same time. And cops, I absolutely love them. Not only because they drive like they don't drive that great, but what I'm talking about is the ticketing approach, where they give you a ticket if you are doing some minor interruptions of the law. Yes, I'm master of the words. But and no other games do that. For example, the same stupid Grand Theft Auto, if police is after you, they want you dead. Here there are no gray areas. Here you can get away with this, you can run away. There's more of those approaches. And even if you're doing a mission or something and there's a policeman on the road and you are driving too fast, yes, you are going to get a ticket, which is great, which how it should be, like kind of realism approach. Here again, I was testing one of the complaints, which is true, of course. In the original Mafia, you could fill up your car with the gas. Here, I couldn't find a way, meaning it's not even that there are no one that fills it up, but the car seems like running without any fuel. Correct me if I'm wrong, but here I tested, nothing happened. So yes, they took away this little awesome thing that was in the Mafia. If you ask me, it wasn't never ever a really important part. So if you took the time to, I don't know, develop this awesome car model or grass or those trees, I'm totally fine with it. So summary, gameplay, the sense that which basically comes together with all the previous points, the music, the driving, the controls, the immersion, the graphics, the cutscenes and everything, the gameplay itself feels great. Again, 9.5, which as you can see at this moment is kind of the highest I'm going, which, spoiler alert, I'm a little bit lying here, because there's one more point. one more point, and that is experience, which is basically the summary of all it. Honestly, best remake, and by that I mean remakes of themselves. These days we have remakes for movies, for TV series, for comics, for games. Most of these times they ruin, and I bet someone somewhere ruined something dear from your childhood, from your youth, something. This is what I mean by best remake. This is how remake should be. It's giving exactly what you expect, what you hold dear in Mafia, improve it, and do not ruin, do not change. I don't know, the take away some mission, because these days these special snowflakes can't handle such attitude or something, or I don't know, change the race or gender for the main character. Some stupid things these days companies pull off. So here you have Mafia original upgraded version. Graphically, feeling, the story is the same. They did not touch and ruined any particular part per se. There is another point of view out there in the internet where they had changed the characters for the original and Tommy and Polly and Sam and all the others. Some of them are really, I'd say, improved. Some of them are feeling a little bit downgrade. By the way, yeah, there's my brother calling. Most likely we will discuss hell out of this game because he's also a big fan of and gamer and everything. So, but that's after the video. And I am giving experience, and I'm mentioning this again a little bit. Not spoilers. Stop saying that. There is no cyberpunk look yet in the game. It's coming further. So up until this point, this is the best game I have played this year. And by that I mean by the experience. It's my highest rating I ever went, and I don't think I will ever go that far again soon. 9.9, because the experience, as I said, everything I wanted, everything I expected, the cars, the models, and I'm not gonna lie, I'll be honest with you. I did not expect. I was kind of skeptical. I was like, they probably ruined it. They probably again ruined something for us in 2020, for God's sake. And I'll give you two numbers. Well, three numbers. One of the numbers is 8.8 is the final average from everything you've seen before. I think that's the highest my channel ever gave for any game. But other two numbers, I'll remove it, is the gameplay itself is 10 hours and 10 and a half hours with some dying and replaying and the same racetrack until you get it done. And another, it took me about 10 minutes after the end where I sat here and I couldn't believe it's over. I couldn't believe that's it. I couldn't believe the story, how, where, why. I had felt this feeling like, what should I do with my life now? And I didn't know I can experience it once again, because I'm one of these poor bastards that has good memory and I'm always remembering everything. I knew what's in this story, but I experienced everything else. And I sat for those whole credits, where I can mention some things in the credits. In one of the credits there is a company name in quotes, where there's a misuse of not double quotes but two times one quote. It's a funny thing. And another, in the end of the link there's a smiley face in the credits, which is so I smiled at the moment, but overall I felt too deep and too sad after the story ended and everything. And of course I'm hitting the car in Mafia with the baseball bat, because that's, you know, original. It was really well done, where it bent, the metal bent. Here it's a little bit less, but remember, final score is 8.8. The game is absolutely great. This is one of the best remakes I have played for the gaming, and I encourage you, if you have played, if you haven't played, like story-driven games, this is a hell of a game. And thank you guys, of course my viewers, but also the developers and publishers and those who picked up the game and said, like, let's make a better version for these days gamers. Everyone should experience that story, and I absolutely agree on that. Thank you guys for watching. I will, for the video, die here, so that's a great way how to end my video. And I already feel again empty. I want this story once again. And thank you guys for watching, and you know, we will meet in next videos. Cheers.